Hey everyone, it's 12:10, so we're going to get started. Thank you for joining us today in our continuing series of Teams webinars, trying to help you rev up your experience with Teams. And today we're going to spend a decent amount of time talking about talking it up and using Teams as your phone system. So if you feel like your phone system is like Fred Flintstone here in the Stone Ages, hopefully after today we can make you move forward into the future. So most of you, I believe, know who I am, but my name is Cathy Coloff, and I've been doing this IT stuff for over 30 years. I don't consider myself a guru, but I do like to learn a lot of this stuff. So not only do I talk about it, but I also use it and play with it a lot personally. IT Radix is an IT managed services organization. We started in 2008. We have about 30 people or so, and we're a Microsoft certified partner, which gives us a good leg up in terms of being your trusted technology guide when it comes to all things Teams. So today, as I said, we're going to talk about Teams. So we're going to talk about how you can use it to really rev up your communications internally within your organization. You know, they've kind of built it to be the platform for not only just instant message chatting, but also calling, meetings. You could do it one-to-one. You could do it with small groups. You could have full-blown webinars. Today we're using Zoom so that I can show you the features of Teams, but otherwise we could do everything we're doing today inside of Zoom. You can do in Teams and then some on top of it. But today we're really going to focus in on if you look at these bullets where it talks about voice over IP or VoIP and dedicated phone number features, which are some of the bullets on this screen. We're going to spend a little bit of time doing a deeper dive into that. So Microsoft, many people, organizations already have a phone system. Well, they built Teams to be, it could be a phone system, or you could integrate it into your existing phone system. So if you wanted to do that, so let's say you had a hosted voice over IP system already today, there's something called direct routing, where you could integrate Teams into your existing phone system. So you don't have to change your telecom, you don't have to change your phone numbers. It's extremely flexible. You can pick and choose who you allow to do this. But what you do want to do is make sure that the phone system that you're using is certified to work with Teams. So I know a few that are out there. There's one called Ring Central, Vonage, Intermedia, a company called Citricom. All of these folks have the ability to keep your existing phone system, but then also integrate it into Teams so that some or all of your folks can make calls inside of the Teams platform. The other choice is to actually establish yourself with a calling plan and let Microsoft become your entire phone system. If you're going to do that, what you need to do is you port over all your phone numbers. There's a process and some forms and paperwork that you go through, but basically what you do is you transfer all your phone numbers from wherever they may be today over to Microsoft, so that if somebody were to call your organization, if they were to call IT Radix, if they dialed 298-6908, it would ring directly into the Teams environment. It's fully deployed in the cloud, and it does allow you to not only administer your email, but also your phone system, everything simply from the cloud. So with all things Microsoft, the way this works is you need the right subscriptions, okay? So if you wanted to do, and I'll talk a little bit about the subscriptions here. If you want to just talk to each other and you're both on Teams, and that could be within the same organization or outside of your organization. If you're both running the Teams app and you're connected to the internet, you do not need a phone subscription or anything for that to make that work. That is included, built into Teams. However, if you want to go to the next level, let's say two of you are in Teams and the third person needs to call in on the phone, on essentially audio conferencing, where you used to get a little email with a conference call number, you'd dial in and you'd hit the codes and you would get into the phone call over just a voice. If you have Teams, you can choose to add just audio conferencing only. So what will happen is if you set up a meeting inside of Teams, you invite them, you invite the person, they will get the link to do the full-on video and the instant messaging in the chat, but they would also have the ability to dial a phone number and listen into the Teams meeting using audio conferencing. So now let's say you want to step it up even more, where you really do want to use this as your phone system, as your voice methodology. If you're doing the direct routing, where you're keeping your existing phone system and you're just essentially routing those calls into Teams, you need 2 subscriptions. The first one is called a phone system subscription, and the second one is called Call to Teams, and that's essentially a little connector that tells your existing phone system, hey, that we're going to literally sort of transfer that call over to Teams, and the person could call. So if you called to IT Radix to our phone number, and they transferred the call to me, I have a phone system subscription, the Call to Teams subscription, and then that call would get transferred into Teams. The other alternative is if you decide to make Microsoft be your phone system, you would not need that third-party phone provider any longer. You can, and I'll talk a little bit more about the features that come with the full-on phone system in a minute, but in that situation, you also need 2 subscriptions, and what you need is the phone system and a calling plan so that you can make phone calls. Now, obviously, all of this can be pretty confusing, so what we would encourage you to do is to find yourself a good consultant, someone like IT Radix, to help you navigate all this and figure out if this is the right phone system for you. Okay, so the next thing is, the whole idea behind this is that we want to make sure that everything is convenient and the people are as productive as possible. So the way, Microsoft refers to this as call escalation. I like to think of it as call enhancement. So typically, in a phone conversation, it was a one-to-one. You'd pick up the phone, I'd dial someone, it would be a one-to-one conversation. It is super easy inside of the Teams environment to easily make that into a group call, and then maybe you want to layer on video on top of it, and then maybe on top of that, you want to now, while you're in the midst of that call, you could also layer in screen sharing so that you could all easily collaborate and work together. All of this is built into Teams and the phone system, and many people, what we recommend is that you download the Teams app, but you can certainly run it through the web browser as well. Some of the features that come with the phone system side of the Teams, if you get voicemail, it sends the voicemail to your email, and not only that, it transcribes it, and it's pretty darn good. So if you leave a voicemail message, you can just read the message instead of having to listen to those WAV files and things like that that come attached. There's a feature called call parking that exists in many traditional phone systems, where you would put the, essentially park the call, and then someone else could pick the call up by entering a code. That's all included. Call queues, those are typically, if maybe you have multiple people where they're calling into a queue and they're taking turns on who's answering, that's a call queue. Auto attendant, press 1 for sales, 2 for tech support, things like that. That is available. Music on hold is available, just like a regular phone system. You can do call forwarding or simultaneous ring, where it will forward out to your cell phone, for example, or you can make it be where it actually rings both your Teams and your cell phone. That's called simultaneous ring. Sometimes a little too much ringing can be too much, too much of a good thing. So not my favorite feature, but it's there if you want it. You can do delegation support. So maybe you have somebody who helps answer your phone on your behalf. Maybe it's an administrative assistant or something, or a virtual admin. You can delegate support for someone else to answer your calls. And then the last but not least is, a lot of people think that with Teams, the only thing you can do is use your laptop with the built-in mic and whatnot, but you can actually get a phone, which may not look quite like this Fred Flintstone's phone, but a regular phone that would be on your desk, with the regular keypad and so forth. You sign into Teams on the phone, and then you can use a regular desk phone. You could also use Teams just through your computer. With maybe you want to add in a headset like I have on today, or you could even run Teams on your cell phones or any type of device like that. But the beauty of all of this is that you're able to manage all of this inside of one place. So with this, I'm going to actually kill the presentation, and I'm going to switch over to doing a demo. Okay, so here we are. This is the Teams interface. Hopefully most of you are familiar with this already. If you have a phone system subscription, you will have a little dial pad over here, as I do. If you do not have a phone system subscription, you will not have this option, but you would still be able to make those Teams to Teams calls that I mentioned before. The way you would do that is you would just click on the little phone icon when you're in the chat, or you could you could add a contact here and call them, and it would call them teams to teams. You can certainly just come in here and type a phone number. I am going to call my cell phone while we're here. And so you just hit call, and you can see it actually goes out. It looks like it's ringing. I'm going to answer my cell phone. Give me a second. Here we go. I'm going to put that on hold so it doesn't disturb me. And now I can have a regular phone call with the person, as you can see here. And it's super easy, as I mentioned, to add someone else to the call. You can just click on the dial pad and dial another number. Or in this case, what I want to do here is I'm going to add a participant. So I'm going to add my friend Ken, who is one of my colleagues here at IT Radix. And you see he's in our Teams tenant. So I'm going to add him. As you can see, it is now calling him. And Ken can join in on the call. It will announce him, and you can see not only did he answer the call as a phone call, he also added in the video. Now, the only reason why I can't add in the video is because I'm using my video for Zoom, but here's my friend Ken. And, you know, I could easily just continue to add more and more people here inside of the call, and he can see things like raising your hand. He'll be able to see chats while he's on the call, things of that nature. If I hit this button, that puts the call on hold. So Ken is, both those calls are now on hold. I can hit resume, and it resumes the phone call. So as you can see, it works just like a regular phone. There is a transfer action as well. I'm going to go back to these participants. If I want to disconnect people, so I'm going to come over here and disconnect my cell phone, I can just say remove from meeting, and boom, I just removed that call that I had made to my cell phone, and now it's just Ken and myself in this call. So this is, you know, as you can see, Microsoft has built a lot into the Teams platform, not only just instant messaging and chat, but also phone calling. It can become your one-stop shop. Or if you want to keep your existing phone system, you can certainly do that as well. I'm going to leave this call. So wave bye-bye, Ken. Okay. But as you can see, you can set up things like speed dial. You can have groups in here, and you can, you know, minimize these. You can, I am going to show you, so you can build your own contacts. It keeps a history of your phone calls. And then the voicemail is here as well, and you can play these voicemails. Obviously, I can't demo that so much today because you wouldn't be able to hear it. But all of this is built into Teams, super easy to use, very convenient, and quite frankly, I love it. So I can't recommend it enough. With that, I was going to stop and see if there's any questions. I am not sure if we have any questions today. We did get one before the meeting today, which was, can you mix and match? Does everybody have to be in Teams, or do you have to convert all your phones? If you go the direct routing methodology, you can mix and match. If you go the phone system, then at that point, it is, you know, it is, everybody is on Teams if you've ported your phone number over. All right, any other questions? Dan, I can't see the chat, so I'm sorry.
We had a question. Can our current Citricom system be used without the physical handsets in the office?
I will have to double check on that because, as I mentioned, it is, we have to make sure that things are certified. In some scenarios, it may be that you want to switch away. In some cases, you may want to keep the Citricom, but it's something we can follow up with separately after the call. Anything else?
How is the call quality in terms of clarity and latency? Is it a full duplex call where both sides can talk?
It is a full duplex call for sure. In my experience, I use it all day long. I find it very reliable, rarely get any kind of echo or anything like that. So I find the call quality really quite high. And then what it also does is that if it's seen that you're having a call quality issue, it will give you some advice of what to do, and it also allows you to rate pretty much every phone call that you make, so that they're constantly improving the calls. When you hang up, it says, you know, could you please rate the call quality? So some of this, you know, call quality, what you do need to remember is if you do this, you are now writing the public internet to make all of your phone calls. So the internet in your home, if you're working from home, is going to matter. The internet in your office is going to matter. And then, of course, what's going on the internet in the middle, in the cloud, is going to matter too. So if there's some sort of major internet outage, it could affect your calling. Any other questions?
Question about any future webinars on Teams.
Yes, we will be doing another one in October. I believe the date is the 21st. If you have specific questions or topics that you would like covered about Teams, please let us know. We have a couple of things in mind, but I'm happy to make adjustments or put it on the agenda for a future one. And with that, I think we can, if you could fill out the feedback form, we would greatly appreciate it. And this is me after this call. I'm no longer Fred Flintstones. After I do a video thing, I hopefully look as nice as it's Judy Jetson, right? But that, you know, they had that high-tech phone in the cartoons, and now with Teams, you could be Judy Jetson too. Thank you so much.